Misa is mass. Maka is kind of after the mass. I think Rizal either invented the word or it was an old Tagalog word, or old Filipino word that was
Makamisa.
not. Yeah.
Is invented by Rizal.
I doubted that he invented it. I don't think he invented it, but it's not common, and it's totally gone. It's not in the dictionaries anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw. How did you use it?
I know, because that's the title of his novel
Okay.
that he did not finish. The Rizal is really iconic, and it's in a way it's like Broca. You can't deny his existence and his contribution. In fact, the one I showed in Torino some years ago, Ultimo, Different Ways of Killing a National Hero, is I use his most famous poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, and use that as intertitles of footages I shot in Spain. And I also made the Philippine Bliss, which showed in Rotterdam, I think 2009 or something. And it utilizes the fictional characters of Jose Rizal, but in a contemporary Manila context. With Makamisa particularly, I forgot which year, but I was in college, 90s, early 90s, and of course I was very much into poetry, fiction, literature, and there was a new book which came out. I think the title is Rizal's Makamisa, or Makamisa, the search for Rizal's lost novel, by historian Ambet Ocampo. And in it, he narrates how he discovered the manuscripts, and he also included because Rizal wrote his two masterpieces, his two novels in Spanish, because that's the language he was most comfortable in. But at the same time, because he was defining along with his comrades, like, what is a Filipino, because this is something new during that time. Before there was, we were called Indios, like slave, and before that, it was, a bunch of violence. And so Rizal tried to write, so he already wrote Noli Me Tangere and continued it much, stronger, more violent, with El Filibusterismo.
Yeah.
And he wanted the third one because he thought, okay, already, did some massacre in the second novel, but I want to do more damage. And he really wanted to make it anti-clerical, like he really wanted to demolish the priests. And at the same time, present like the Philippine culture, which already existed, although it didn't have a name, or the pre-Hispanic culture. And so he wanted to include a lot of folk elements, folklore, mythology, cultural habits of the Filipinos. So it's kind of also a compendium. At the same time, about this priest and in this town, and he tried writing it in Filipino, in Tagalog, but he had his insecurities, and he thought, he couldn't really do it. But he managed to write a few chapters, and then he started again, now in Spanish, again a few more chapters, but then he was executed by the Spanish government. So the novel never got finished, but he was talking about it a lot, in particular with his correspondence with his Austrian friend Blumentritt. So we know what his intentions were. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to to complete the project. So when I saw this unfinished work, I was like, my mind was like really inspired, and I wanted to make, my version of it. Like, I think at that point in the '90s, I was very much into rock operas. I wanted to make a rock opera about using this material. I think inspired also by UNESCO, like in search of maybe the next chapters. And yeah, but I never got to do it. I had other things happened, and then cut to 2020. I mean, I did a theater play for Volksbühne in 2022. So there was this project that was happening during that time, and my idea was to create a kind of total theater or a total cinema, which combines all the arts. So I really wanted to shoot a film. There's a film component, and because the play was more about Alfred Jarry and Jose Rizal, like the connections, or yeah, the psychic connections, because 1896 happened to be the same year that Rizal was executed. At the same time, it was the year that Alfred Jarry's Uburoy was premiered. So it's like, wow, there's something here. So that was the inspiration for the play. And then, so for the, yeah, creativity is a complex process. At some point, this dream from the '90s resurfaced, and I grabbed it, and yeah, I used that to make this lost film, a fake 1920s hand processed, hand colored project, which I've always also been enticed with and attracted to. But that, hand colored, hand processed 35 millimeter expired project I can imagine could have also been about something else, like not Rizal, no Makamisa, no, about very probably the Aswang, the Filipino monster, etc. But yeah, those inspirations combined into this one project. So that's why Makamisa was born.